Lots of good cooks and lots of good food and wonderful recipes too. But for a meal that makes folks smile, there's one thing you must do. Cook it with love. Cook it with love. Cook it with love. Love is a great ingredient, the best that we can find. The simplest meal that's cooked with love will nourish humankind. Cook it with love. Cook it with love. Cook it with love.
Hello, and welcome to another edition of Cooking with Tasha. And today we are cooking with Tasha and Laura, my neighbor who loves to cook and has made so many very interesting recipes in her life.
Well, I'm very honored to be here.
It's my fun. Now, today we're going to make a recipe of Laura's called crow's nests. I've added the S. You don't have an S on your recipe, but I'm assuming
because
it is
it's
more
crow's
than
nest. Yes, it's more than one crow.
It's more than one crow. So we're doing crow's nests here. And we're going to start with cutting the butter and the flour in together.
Yes, you make the biscuit first.
We're going to make the biscuits first. And we have to sort of hurry on these biscuits because
And we've already heated the
biscuits
apple
will take a while to cook. Okay, so
Am I in your way?
you're not in my way. I'm going to ask, we didn't bring enough things to cut it with, so we're improvising, right?
Well, you know, I don't ever use a knife like that. I always use a fork
You use
when
a
I
fork.
cut the butter.
Well, we don't have a fork today.
No, the butter's a little
But
hard
this
too.
is going
but
to-
it'll
Well,
mix in.
yeah, I think it'll mix okay. I'm just sort of chop
This
it up here.
recipe was my stepdad's, and it was in his family. I believe it was his grandmother's. So it's an old family recipe, not my family, but his family. And it's probably 200 years old at least.
Really?
Oh,
Sure.
yes.
Well, we're making an antique recipe.
Well,
This is
we
pretty
are. It's
special.
been in his family for a good many years.
Now, it just says one recipe, so
Yeah,
we're going
one
by my
recipe.
recipe here. Now, I should mention that we are using a gluten-free baking mix here, baking and biscuit mix.
And I'm not familiar with that, so I'll just let you go ahead and...
But it's, yeah,
Mix the
no, you
biscuits.
mix. Go ahead.
Oh, you want me to mix?
I want you to mix while I
Well,
put it in.
I'm going to have to struggle with this butter then.
Yeah, well, you can struggle a little bit. I'll help you after a bit. Okay.
Get it back in there. I can get it off your whipper here.
Use the other end. That's what I was doing.
Oh, well.
I mean, it's easier
Okay.
because this is, I'm using it as though it were a knife, you know. This is part of
I
the,
see. Cut
part
it
of
in.
the being, part of the, what did we say, being flexible, shall we say? So just,
I'll let you do it because you're a lot stronger than I am.
oh dear. I thought I had a fork, you know, I used to, but over time things appear and
You know,
disappear.
probably if I was at home, I'd just get my hands in it.
Well, why don't you do that now? Your hands
Oh,
are
is it all
perfectly
right?
clean.
Well,
Absolutely.
shall I take my ring off?
That's up to you.
I
How
don't think
do
I can
you
get
usually?
it off. No.
Then I wouldn't worry
No,
about
all
it.
right.
Okay, why don't
I
you
just mix it like this.
That's much better. Much better, much
This is the
cleverer.
old-fashioned way.
The old-fashioned way, and actually the better way, I'm pretty sure. Okay,
My
I
mother
put in
always
1
say,
cup.
you mix it until it feels right. And when I was learning to cook, I'd often ask her, well, how do you know that it feels right if you've never made it before? Like bread or something.
Yeah.
And in this case, if it feels right.
That's 2.
I guess it's supposed to be like cornmeal.
It says here, yeah, course meal.
See?
Yeah,
I remembered that.
2½ cups, okay.
There, that looks pretty good.
I've got a little more here.
Save a little
cups.
tablespoon of
I have.
flour
I
for
brought
me.
along. I brought along
okay.
another.
Because
thing
I need it for my nutmeg sauce.
Yep. I brought
Without the
along.
nutmeg sauce, this
See, I have
is
another
nothing.
bag with the
Okay.
baking mix in.
Now, you're adding liquid to this, right?
Hmm.
Liquid?
Yeah, when it's ready.
I think it's ready. I'm sure it's ready.
Okay. Well, I saw some lumps in there, and I didn't know.
Well, I think those will come
The
out.
lumps are
after-
okay?
I
All
think
right.
it's just butter.
See, sweetie,
it will
you are the
melt.
you are the biscuit person, not me. So
Let's hope so.
I don't. Now,
Okay.
and let's use we can use some of those paper towels to wipe your hands
Yeah,
that
well,
you brought
yeah.
along. There you go.
Oh, you don't think those are beautiful like that?
I think they're beautiful, but I don't like things sticky.
Oh.
Maybe you don't mind.
Well,
Some
yes,
people don't
actually I
mind being
do.
sticky. Okay.
I think we've got more than enough biscuit here for my little casserole.
Oh, we have more than enough biscuit for your little casserole. We'll have to take some home and bake it in the oven or something. But that looks good. That looks good.
Almost mixed.
Mm-hmm.
You look like you want to get your hands in it.
No,
Would you
I'm
like to
just
do
watching.
this?
I'm
trying,
watching.
I'm trying to fold it in.
You're doing a good job.
Oh, let's
Good
hope
job. Good job.
until it clings together.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if we need a little more flour.
I don't think so. No. I think it'll be fine. It looks good to me. This is going to be.
Well, if it clings, if it would cling together as well as it clings to my fingers, it would be all right.
Okay. I'll put a little bit of flour on the board. Here we go.
This is almost ready.
It looks good. You're doing a wonderful job there.
You don't think it needs just a little tad more flour to make it, well, maybe. We won't need all of that anyway.
Right.
What
Yeah.
do you say, about that much? Want to try that?
Or maybe less.
Or less?
I would
Cut
say
it?
less, yeah. I mean, it's only supposed to be a ½ inch thick,
Yeah.
according
okay.
to my directions anyway.
Okay. You want some more?
Let's try rolling this out and see what
All right.
happens. So
The more flour you add to that, I think the better it's going to roll out anyway.
it's fine. It's good. It's good.
Of course, being a
No.
modern cook, as I've always been, I would just use Bisquick and get it all over with in a hurry.
Yes, yes.
Now, is that going to fit on top of this
You
like
want
a
it?
pie
Is it
crust
supposed
on
to
top
fit like
of
a pie crust?
Yes.
Okay.
And then you seal it around the edges.
Oh, you seal it around the edges. All right. Well, we'll do that too. hmm This is something new for me.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
You have to put a little hole in the middle now.
Yeah. Well, we'll make the hole. But
to
first,
let
I
the
want
steam out.
to get it up off the bowl. All right. Now we're going to make a
You
hole.
just make a little to let the steam out.
Mm-hmm.
And as it cooks, and it will be nice and puffy,
Okay.
just
This
like
is
a
very
little nest.
interesting.
Now, to
This is great fun.
the
Okay.
oh well, no problem
There we
getting it
are.
on there. Now we just seal
I'm going to
the
let you
edges,
do that part.
Okay. Just almost like a pie crust. I hope this will be sealed, otherwise we'll have another one of my pumpkin pie experiences, the crust on the bottom and the filling on the bottom and the crust on the top.
Well, if you don't think we have enough, we can always put some more on.
No, I think that'll seal up all right.
I mean, if you want it actually sealed, then we should push it hard against the edge.
I think that'll, I don't think the sauce will get up out of there. If it does, it'll be my first failure, your first failure on TV.
Oh no, I've had a few of them. Don't worry. In all the years, I made quite a few cooking shows, you know.
There, that looks right. Then
Okay.
it goes in the oven.
All right, in the oven it goes.
Yep.
And you know what? My pot holder's vanished. I used to have a
Oh.
pot holder here. And then I had a dish towel. I'm not sure what we're going to use for a pot holder today. But we're going to have something. All right,
Now, I'm not used to your flour, so I don't know how long.
It says 20 to 25 minutes.
Oh, all right.
So I'm looking at the clock. It should come out at 11:44 or so. So we'll think 11:44. I didn't bring a timer.
Oh,
And we'll have to take this home with us
and cook it later.
and make something else with it. Biscuits, maybe.
Well, now I
Now
guess
then.
the only other thing to do is to start our hot water for
Yes.
the nutmeg sauce.
Yes, it is. Okay. Whoops. Here you go. Put this on top, and I'll turn it up in a minute. And we'll boil up that water. Now tell me about your pumpkin pie, please.
Oh, well, I was first married again, and married in June. And so around the week or so before Thanksgiving, Fred thought it would be fun. There goes my cane.
Oh, never mind.
Fred thought it would be fun to have our parents up for Thanksgiving dinner in our new home.
Okay.
So I thought, well, I don't know how to cook, and I've never made a pie, so I'll experiment about a week or so ahead and make a pie. So he bought a can of pumpkin, and instead of buying a small can for one pie, he bought a great big can, and I didn't know that you weren't supposed to use a big can of pumpkin for an 8-inch pie. And I had pumpkin everywhere, in every dish possible that went in the oven. But I used enough for filling the pie crust. But I didn't know that you weren't supposed to punch holes in the pie crust, because I had seen my mother do that with soft pies. So I thought that's what you did with
Every kind of pie.
one crust pie. And I put the pie filling in and put it in the oven. And when I took it out of the oven, the crust was a dome up over the filling, and the filling was in the bottom, and there was this great big dome of crust up over it. So when Fred came home from work again, he could smell the pie, and he said, "Oh, you made the pie." I said, "Well, wait until you see it. It's a mess. I don't know what happened, but the crust is on the top and the filling's on the bottom." So after dinner, he got the pie, and he thought he would cut it at the table. He took his table knife, and he tried to cut the pie, and he couldn't dent the pie crust. It was as hard as a rock because of the pumpkin and the egg and everything that had set it up like shellac. So he went in and he got a butcher knife, and he started whacking at it, and that wouldn't work. So by then he was hysterical. He said, "Well, just a minute, I know what will cut the pie crust." So he went out in the back shed and he got his machete. And he came in, and he tried to cut it with a machete, and it wouldn't cut. So our English setter was sitting down there, licking her chops, and he said, "Let's see what Penny does with it." So he put it down on the floor, and the dog picked it up, tried to gnaw it, couldn't, picked it up and dragged it to the door and asked to go out. So he went to the door and opened the door, and Penny went around back, spit it out, and started digging a hole, and she was going to bury the pie. And by that time, I was in tears, and I vowed never to make a pie again. So that was what happened to my pumpkin pie.
Oh my goodness. That was the last pumpkin pie you made, or did you have made one?
I did not make a pie for 60 years. We were married for 60 years, and I said, "You think it is so funny. It's all right to laugh about it, but you're poking such fun at me. It's really hurting my feelings, and from now on, you can cook, you know how to cook, you will bake the pies." So for 60 years, he baked the pies.
You were married for 60 years?
We were married for 60 years.
60?
And the year after he passed away, my granddaughter, this is part of the end of the story, my granddaughter invited me to her house for Thanksgiving, the year he passed. And I said, "Oh, well, that's nice of you, Beth. What could I bring?" She says, "Well, Grandma, you can bring a pumpkin pie." I said, oh, you know I don't make pies. I've never made a pie. Don't know how. She said, if you want to come for dinner, you bring a pumpkin pie. So I made a pumpkin pie, and I've been making pies ever since. It turned out fine.
Oh.
But I felt Fred was right with me, right on my shoulder, told me how to make that
maybe
pie.
he was.
I think he was.
I think
yes.
he was too.
So
that's a wonderful
That's the end of the story. My
Well,
pumpkin pie.
What is the most peculiar thing you ever cooked? I'm not counting raccoon now.
Oh my, I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay. That wasn't it.
Not counting the rock. Starting to cook. Well, when I first got married, still I didn't know. I told you I didn't know how to cook, and all I made was cheese fondue for about 2 weeks. That was rather peculiar.
I suppose Fred was so enamored of his bride, he didn't care that all he had to eat
After
was...
2 weeks, he did object, and he came home one night and he says, "I'm sorry, honey, but do you mind if I take over the cooking and I will teach you to cook? Because if you have cheese fondue one more day, I'm going to throw it right out the door like you did my raccoon." So I said, "No, please, start cooking." So he cooked for maybe about 1.5 years. He knew how to cook because his mother was ill and he had to learn to do those things at home because she couldn't.
Yeah.
And he was a very good cook and liked to bake. And so he did all the cooking. And we ate fine for about 1.5 years or 2 years, and then I took over again. But I did learn to cook.
You did learn to cook in the process.
Yes, I learned to cook.
Well, that was good.
Except I refused to make pies.
Well, what else? What other kinds of things did he make? Did he make other,
he
other
used to
recipes?
make the most delicious stuffed quahogs and stuffed shrimp, his own recipe. I still have it, but I haven't tried it.
Oh, well, maybe we can make it on the show sometime.
Oh, my goodness.
Would that be fun?
Well, yes, I guess so. But
Yeah.
I would try it at home first, like I did the pumpkin pie.
You are always so good and cautious. I mean, you're much more cautious than I am about that sort of thing.
The one thing that I enjoy making, of course, as you know, is popovers. I love to
Yes,
have
well,
you
we'll
and
have to
Stephen
make those
down
on the
for
show.
popovers.
We'll have to make those on the show, too, sometime. It'll be
And
fun.
I'm going to have you people down again soon for my popovers. I haven't for
Looking
a long
forward
time.
to it.
Yeah.
Looking forward to
Yeah.
it. That's
Well,
right.
how's our biscuit doing? Is it cooking?
I think it's cooking.
Oh,
I'm,
that's good.
I'm watching it, and it looks to
And
me
the-
like it's rising
now,
a bit. and now we've got
the sauce.
we've got the sauce here.
And it's not boiling yet. We have to have
No.
boiling water.
Yeah. So so when we get down to about 5 minutes or so, it'll be good to stop. Yeah, it'll be good to stop when we get to about 5 minutes, and then we'll wait till we want it to cook.
Oh yes, we want the.
We have to have it cooking.
We want
I mean, we
this
could
to-
make it an hour show, but I don't know if, it shows for half an hour every three times a week. People would have to wait a long time to see what would happen if we made it, we did it that way.
Yeah.
It's probably not a good idea.
Okay.
But we'll stop the camera as we often do,
right.
and while it finishes cooking. But look, can you see?
It's getting a little brown, I think.
Yeah, looks to me. Looks to me.
Yeah.
Well, we shall see.
I wouldn't.
We shall see.
If I.
Right now, it's been cooking for about 9 minutes.
Oh well, it's got to cook longer than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. That's what we said. So, we're going to make the
Nutmeg sauce.
nutmeg sauce. All right.
So
so
you boil the water.
we
2
boil
cups
the
of
water.
water.
Now you wanna mix the sugar and the things in here.
It's the salt and the sugar is already mixed together,
yeah.
and that
And
is
then we're going to add something to that.
and it's 1 cup of sugar, and you have to add 1 tablespoon of flour. Now let me see. The instructions are: mix sugar, flour, and salt, and add nutmeg. And
Okay.
the nutmeg is 1 teaspoon.
This is such an interesting.
Oh, they clip together. It's nice to keep them that way. I know right where they are.
There you go. In with the sugar, right?
Yes, it says mix sugar, flour, and salt.
Okay.
Add the nutmeg. and the nutmeg is 1 teaspoon.
And that's a half a tablespoon. Here's the teaspoon. So for those of you out there who are gluten-free types, you know, for wanting gluten-free cooking, there are at least 2 good baking mixes that I have found. One is called Pamela's, and the other is called Bob's Red Mill. And both of these are, they say baking and pancake mix. This one says biscuit and baking mix, and this makes pancakes too. They're slightly different, and it's fun to try, you know, and see what works best for you. But there is no need for you to forego anything that you normally like to make, because you can make it with these gluten-free mixes. And some of them don't even call for eggs or anything if you're, you know, a person who doesn't tolerate those. So that looks good.
We're ready, and the water's boiling.
So the water's boiling, and
we have to boil it. We have to
boil the sauce, right?
We have to boil it. Yes, it says
Want to pour it in?
add boiling. Add.
Well, we're going to add it to the boiling water.
Yeah, I did say add the boiling water to it, but that's all right.
There you go.
And you stir it. Oh boy, I hope the flour doesn't set up.
It will. It'll be fine. It'll be
You
fine.
stir it for I think it's 5 minutes. Cooked for 5 minutes.
Cooks for 5 minutes. Well,
Yeah.
it'll take its time.
Do you have a wooden spoon?
Yep, I do. It has applesauce on it.
Oh well, a little
Wait a minute.
applesauce won't matter
A little
that much.
applesauce won't hurt, but we can wipe it off anyway. There we go. Oh, well, those paper towels you used really came in
Yeah,
handy.
that's right. There's always a reason for something. All right, now
Always a
we
good
time this for 5 minutes.
Okay. 5 minutes, you can time it from the clock up there. That'll
All
work.
right. You want to tell me when? Because I'm looking at the sauce.
Okay, I will tell you when.
Okay. Oh, we have to add the butter.
Mm-hmm. Butter comes in now?
Mix sugar, boiling water, and
Here it is.
stir. Then add butter. Yeah, we add the butter now.
Okie doke.
That's all.
Butter is added.
And we're adding, that's 1 tablespoon of butter.
No problem. I don't need to waste that.
Smells good. I love the smell of nutmeg.
When I was a little girl, I remember the white margarine.
Oh yes, I remember
And
that.
there was a little yellow thing in the middle.
And you have to break it and mix
And you
it.
had to mush the bag
Right.
to make it yellow.
My brother and I used to take turns doing that for my mother. That was fun.
Oh yeah.
When we were kids.
It was fun for children. I think those kinds of things are more fun for children than they are for grown-ups.
And they call it oleomargarine.
Oleo.
Or
yes,
margarine, I guess it was. Oleomargarine.
Oleo. Yeah, I remember oleo. That was
Yeah. And you know, there's some recipes you come across now and it will say a tablespoon or so of oleo.
Oleo, it will really in
Yeah.
the recipe? Oh, that's funny. I have a couple of plates.
Oh, well, good.
That'll do. That'll have to do. And we want Chris to try some too.
Well, I hope the biscuit's done on the bottom, that's all.
Yeah, me too. What time did I say I put it
I
in?
whipped all the nubs out. Isn't that wonderful?
Good.
No
You did a marvelous
magic,
job. But the only thing
magic.
is, I hope it isn't going to run off the plate.
Well, we won't put that much on it.
No, we won't. We'll just put it out to serve it. And
You have a fork or a spoon?
do I have a fork or a spoon? Well, you know.
Plastic? Anything in a pinch. Anything in a pinch.
I wasn't well organized this morning, I fear. I didn't think about utensils.
Well, I didn't know you served it, or I would have brought something.
Well, yeah. I mean, you want people to look at it and see what it consists of, right?
Well, when I make it, it's better just to look at it and not taste it.
Oh, you are so funny. We can set it on here,
Mm-hmm.
so we can see what it looks like.
Okay. And do we have something to dip the sauce up with? Oh, the measuring cup will be all right. Is that a clean measuring cup in there? You didn't use that, did you?
Yeah,
That's all right.
yeah, that's good.
Just a little dip. And
Can use that.
And we need a
Okay.
knife to cut it with, the biscuit.
What did I say? Did I say 48 was when it would come out? I think I did.
Are you asking me to remember something like that?
Oh, well, I have to figure out something to use for pot holders. Well,
that won't do.
well, you'd be surprised. I did have a pot holder. That's what I don't understand. I think... Oh, here's another plate. Good. Now then.
Well, I have a clean handkerchief in my pocket.
No. No. All I need is just to cover the handles.
That gets
We'll
pretty
try.
hot.
Let's see.
Oh, be careful.
Oops. Okay. Let's move that. That's good. This is good. I'm going to have to go around to the front to do it. Okay.
Well, it looks like it's done. Is the applesauce bubbling?
How's that?
Yeah, I hope the
Does that look good?
applesauce is bubbling. Doesn't look like the applesauce is bubbling. Oh, the steam is coming up. I guess we will declare it done.
I'm turning it off.
All right.
Okay. Good. Off. Yes.
Now, all we
right.
need is something to cut the biscuit with.
Now, that spoon that we were using is somewhere around here. There we go.
Okay.
And
I'll let you do the carving. I hope we don't need the machete for this.
oh, I hope so too. Well, what we're going to do, this is okay now.
It's okay?
Yeah, that's okay now. All right. So, hey, this looks pretty good.
I don't know.
Now, it looks flaky.
If it's doughy on the bottom, I don't claim it at all.
Here we go.
You tip it upside down.
Ooh.
Oh, that's done.
Sure.
Looks good.
Okay, there's one
And then
serving.
you put a little of the sauce over the top of the applesauce. You want to dip it with this? Okay.
All right, that's
Yeah,
one.
that's it.
It smells good. There's two.
We'll have to write this up in the newspaper and say, Tasha poured. When you pour the applesauce, the
Instead of the tea.
nutmeg sauce.
Okay.
Well, it looks fit to eat.
Yes, it does. Okay. Well, folks,
Help
that
yourself.
is crow's nest pudding.
Crow's
And we're going to
nest,
have some to taste.
just plain crow's nest. It's not a pudding.
Oh, it's crow's nest.
Crow's nest.
Okay.
That makes folks smile. There's one thing you must do. Cook it with love. Cook it with love. Cook it with love. Love is a great ingredient, the best that we can find. The simplest